All right, you can't hear the music, but I can hear the music. We don't stream music on YouTube. Eh. I'm kind of okay with that though. You get to like listen to your own stuff. Yeah, it's cool. Anyways, welcome in. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. So what we're gonna do today is optimize yield Neopoligen a little bit. So let's just pull up any old thing. Nub reference, whatever. So if you look down at the bottom, if I save this file, you'll see all this stuff kick off. This is building the site. So these are all the steps that it takes to do the site. So generating outputs takes a little time, outputting pages, et cetera, et cetera. Takes like maybe 10 seconds to generate the site. There's about 2,000 plus pages on it. So it's not bad. It's fine. The trick is I don't have a preview set up so that if I make a change here, I guess I could pull the homepage. So site homepage, introduction, agains, whatever. So if I save this, it takes that full 10 seconds for the change to show up here, which isn't, again, bad. But like if I'm writing, I want that change to show up really quickly because I want to be able to like write here and then like shift over and just see it really quickly. It's been fine. Like it hasn't been awful, but I'm definitely at the point now, especially because I'm writing more on the site right now, that I want to have the capability of like having it go faster. So it's like less of a like time break between getting the stuff happening. So I think what we're going to look at is how this all works to start with, because it's been a little bit since I've looked at these particular parts of the thing. Each one of these, I can make that just slightly bigger, maybe. Can I? There we go, slightly bigger. Each one of these is kind of a part of what you're seeing down here in these log messages. So load source images, like it's doing all kinds of stuff. But the things that we want to watch are if we save a file again, so I can close this one and just go back to the home page and do something here, right? Oh, there it goes. Generating outputs. So generating outputs takes a long time, but I think that's the longest one. And so that's the first one to look at. So generating outputs is right here. So generate outputs, which comes down in our builder in mod, generate outputs. So this is it. Now what I'm thinking is like basically all the page loads and like it makes all the ASTs from the files. And then this is the assembly process where, you know what, I'm going to do this because we don't need all that right now. This is the assembly process that it goes through where it basically takes all the ASTs and throws them over the templates. And then inside the templates, it goes through and does the assembly of the pages. And like, it's got to go through them a couple times. Oh, it's got to go through the RSS. Rip. I'll worry about that later. But what I'm thinking we're going to do, no, I'm confused. Hang on a second. Let me look at this. For page and pages, if let, oh yeah, this is getting the RSS template. Okay, gotcha. Wait, is this outputting? Hang on a second. For page and pages, if RSS template, that makes me think it's outputting the RSS file every time. Like for every page, which would totally like double the page, like double the time, right? If it's doing it twice. So match template. Yeah, I think that's doing it twice. Get template RSS page value page clone site output for RSS. Oh no. I understand what's happening. We like each page is its own object, and so this is just assembling the output for the RSS feeds and pushing it into that object. Okay, that makes sense. I was super confused there for a second. That's fine. But like, there's no reason to rebuild all these pages if nothing has changed on the page. And there's two ways that things can change on the page writ large. The content could change on the page, or the template that builds the page could change. I don't have like extra links on there right now. Theoretically, those could change, but I'm not super worried about that. Yeah, so how do you want to do this? I think the first thing to do is just cache all of these. Right, because this is going through and making each page. And so what we can do, this is going to take me a second to get my head around it. Once we get started, we'll actually make some progress or whatever, but like, it's going to be a second while we kind of like put all this together in my head. Or I put all this together in my head. So I think what I want to do is we want to, and I'm going to do this the most simple way possible, maybe, to generate outputs. How are we going to create this cache? Let's look at, do I have any SQ? No. Here, SQL. I don't have any SQL in here right now. So Rust, SQLite, create a database. We don't need to create, we actually do need to create the database. So we want to spec up here and make a cache database. This can be in the builder and the build site. Yeah, it needs to be here, but this is going to trigger from here. So let also understand how to do this better now, but I'm not going to change everything in a minute. Right, for right now. Let's just do this. Let builder create cache database. Create, is that how you spell that? Oh yeah, it doesn't exist yet. So that's fine. Let's go back up here and find where this would go alphabetically. A, B, C, D, A, B, there's all kinds of stuff in here and there. It's a joy of working on your own personal thing. You can be just cruft everywhere. It's fine. So we want to do this. Space that, do that. This is going to fight me, isn't it, this whole time? We may be about to figure that out. That's just so slow. Is this actually supposed to return anything? I don't remember. I think I'm going to have to fight here for a second with this. What's happening is the Rust analyzer keeps triggering in a weird way that's causing, like, it causes everything to like lock for a split second. And it didn't used to do that. I just upgraded to the most recent version of Rust recently. And that seems to have been when things went sideways. And it's really annoying. Okay, so there, is this build and run? Hang on a second. Forget if that's about as fast. That's probably fine. Okay, deploying component files. So this is going to be creating cache, C-A-C-H-E, cache database. Cool. So the first thing we want to do is like define the location of that. And we're going to do that in the site config. I don't think I have a database. I don't. Okay, cool. There's all kinds of crap in here too. Look at all this stuff. It's beautiful. What are we going to call this? Cache database path? Let's go up here. Cache root folder. Oh, cache root folder. Oh, we've already got the cache root folder. That's fine. Okay, cool. Even better. So pub function cache database path self, and then we want to do this as a path buff, and that's going to be self dot cache database path dot join join, and then we're going to add that to I guess it's cache less cache.db. Sure. SQLite. DB. It's fine. SQLite. Be really explicit about it. Function. What? No, self cache database path. That's wrong. Root folder. There we go. Try now. Cool. Close that for a second. I'm going to close the homepage for a second. I'm going to go back over here. So create cache database, right? Over here. So what we want to do is, I think I've got in my helpers file exists check. I don't. It's just is file, right? So here, if let's see what we want to do. This is in self. So self site config, cache database path is file. If it's not, then we want to make it. See, that's it right there. It just paused. And like it totally throws me. Maybe not totally throws me, but it like throws me pretty significantly. So cache database path. So if we get this, we want to make a new database. So Rust create a database. It looks like last time I was using RU SQLite, which sure, why not? I think there's a couple different packages out there, but this will be fine. So let's go grab the latest version of that. RU SQLite, I'm guessing takes us there. We're up to 035. So the last time I did this was 032. Okay, cool. Let's go get our cargo toml file and our dependencies. JLMNO. Oh, wait, we already got it. We do already have it. And this is just 9, right? No, 5. Okay, so I was using it at some point for caching stuff. It doesn't look like I am right now. But that's cool. Because that verifies that I'm using the same thing that we did last time, right? It's on RU SQLite, so cool. So now, if we do this, what we want to do, where's this? We want to pull this. Okay. So in our builder, I'll close that for a second because it keeps confusing me. We want to add these calls. Take that out and take that out so that things sort. Section V42. I don't know why that's not there, but whatever. Oh, wait. I don't want to do that yet. Okay. So now we just need to do this. Create cache database, right? So if we get this, what we want to do is we've already got our database path. So if it doesn't exist, we want to do self site config cache database path. Is that gonna work? So let's go through a result. Now here's where my result stuff might not work. It might though, which would be cool. Mismatch type. Okay, so yeah, cool. Okay, save. Oh, it looks like it's gonna work. Rip, it's not. So this needs to be, this is where I need to go. Oh, I've got anyhow result in here. Does that mean this will work? That'd be cool. So anyhow is what I've started using to catch all the errors because like the differences of error types is a thing, which is cool. Like I get it. I like it. But I didn't use anyhow to start with. It was suggested to me, but I couldn't get my head around it. And so now I'm actually using it and like, it's nice, but like I haven't used it everywhere. So sometimes it doesn't work when I try to use it. It's long and short of that. We've got a connection. We've opened this. So now the question is, did that actually create the database? If I go look at here and I go look at cache.SQLite, perfect. So database created. Now I just need to design it. And what we want to do for that is we're going to make a SQL statement here, or statements, and then go through them. And we'll just pull those. So we've got our connection. We're going to do this. Statements. Let's not do this yet. Let's tab these over a little bit. All right, so there's our statements. And so what do we want to do here? So we want a page cache, page output cache. And what we need to have is whatever. We can have an ID. It's fine. I just like having IDs for things. And then here, what we want to do is let's look at our page for a second. It's wrong. Wrong. G. Whatever. Why'd you move? Wait, what happened? Oh, I see what happened. Let's go to look at the page. Page. So what's in page? We have things to play with. Oh, I can parse the AST too. That would save a little bit of time. I want to plan for that. I don't necessarily want to do that right now, but we might as well like set the thing up so that it's ready to handle it. Maybe not. It's fine. Don't prematurely optimize. So each page has an ID, and those IDs are unique. So we definitely want to do that. So this is going to be, let's call this database ID, and then we'll call this one page ID, which is going to be text, not null, unique. See there, I want that, whatchamthing again. Okay. So there's our page ID. And then what we want to have is cache hash, CA cache hash, which is going to be text, not null. Should probably be unique, but theoretically pages, there could be a duplicate page, so we won't make that unique, right? And then what we want to have is output and output for RSS. So output is also going to be text, not null, and output for RSS, text, not null. And I think that's really all we need right now, because all I want to do is loop through the pages. If like on like the first time you loop through, or like when you loop through, we'll create a hash of the content file to start with. That's what we'll use, which we'll actually probably add into this page in just a second. And then look against the database. If that hash file exists, or sorry, if the ID for the page exists, we'll pull the cache hash. If that matches the one that we just made, then we don't have to go do the generation of the file. We can just pop it straight in. If it doesn't, or so if the ID doesn't exist, or if the cache hash is different, then regenerate the page and then repopulate the cache with the new values. So we want to add cache hash in here too. Parsing issue. I don't know why that's up there. Pub. See how slow that is? Cache hash. I'm not gonna try and troubleshoot that on stream. That's like option string. It is frustrating though. MOP QRST, MOP QRS, MOP QRST. Okay, let's just put that down there. Deprecate.href in favor of this .href field. Make href a string. Okay, we did that. Stuff is kind of all over the place with this. I've been back and forth. One of the biggest things with this. Right, we added something. One of the biggest things with this is I'm not sure what the fastest way to generate files is with MiniJinja, which is the engine that I'm using to do these templates. Because you can like pre-populate fields like this, right? So href is just a field on the struct. And I think that would actually be the fastest way. But also you can make methods to call stuff. And making methods to call stuff is really convenient. But it slows stuff down. So like I'm trying to find, or I spent a bunch of time trying to find the balance on where that line should go. I ended up with some of each, which is kind of weird, but like it works. So it's fine. If I can make this go fast enough, then I don't have to worry about it. So let's go look at page init here, because we need to, I'm going to pull this back down here, and then we'll do cache hash none, because that has to exist before we get here. So I think that should compile again. Looks like maybe. Yeah, the other thing I want to do at some point, which will probably be a stream thing, is, yeah, because see, this is very much what takes the longest time. And like theoretically, if I was really benchmarking this, I would go through and like figure out how long each step took or whatever. But like we're throwing a cache on that particular step. I'm guessing we're gonna just notice it really fast, or we'll be able to like super notice it. Can't tell the difference, and I will have wasted some time, but I'm guessing we'll be able to just because it's caching. All right, so we've got all of these things now. Oh, you know what? I might have just, no, that table already existed, or the thing already existed, and I'm not doing the thing. Okay, so that is going to be the only table that we build right now. Eventually, we might have other stuff that we put in there, like image caching, probably. And then the AST will probably go in here at some point too, but this is good for now. So let's go ahead and build that as an actual thing. And the way we're going to need to do that is we need to delete this file. See if I can do it really quickly. And so what should happen is we should see that show back up right there because it just generated it. And now if I open this in something, ooh, it's thinking. It's very much thinking. It's very angry right now. Oh, there it goes. Whoa. That took a long time. Tables. No tables. That seems odd. Close database. I'm going to leave that open. So I need to, one of the tricks with this, I just need to delete that file every time. Which is cool because like it only generates if the cache needs to be, if it doesn't exist. So that makes sense. Create table if not exists, page output cache, and then there's all this thing. So why didn't this go? Because we made the file. Oh, I got to no, execute. This feels like one of those things where you have to commit it. And I'm not doing that here. Does this work? Hang on a second. So this goes to desktop db test SQLite, which does not exist right now. So if I run this, oh, unknown start of token cargo. Oh yeah. So this is the old way that we did this. Cargo's updated. So I can run notes from inside. I can run code from inside my notes. And they've changed slightly the way that you identify dependencies in here. That is not what I wanted to do. Let's try this. That was 5.0, right? So now with luck, if I run this, it may take a second because it's got to re-download it. Results nothing. That's a good sign. What I should do is do this. Print. And the reason I'm doing this is because like I got a little bug with my output where it keeps doing extra results. Print. Done. Where if I do this, print line, boom, done. You should see a message. And it won't reduplicate the stuff now. This is all fine. Okay, cool. Oh, nope, that's not fine. I've changed the way I do IDs. So that needs to be that. Okay, so did that make our database here? It did. Is this database? It does have tables. Items. More data, some data. So it has 3 tables in there. More data. Some data. Oh, is one of those tables a SQLite table? Items. Where's that coming from? Items, more data, some data. Here's some data. Here's more data. Where's items coming from? Am I doing something silly like passing us the wrong path? No. Very confusing to me. Close that. Close database. Delete that. Go back over here. Run this. There's a database again. That database might have already been there. And I just didn't notice it. I could go back and look if I really cared. I don't. I'm going to delete it now, though. So, okay. So that is working. Why is it not working here? Because it's not making our tables for us, which is confusing. Statements. Create table if not exist. And it's a vec iter SQL. So we're going over the thing. We're doing the SQL. I don't know. So cache, right? So we don't see the file there. But if we save a file, I can just save this one. That triggers the run. And when the run goes, we see the database file show up. But ain't no tables in it. So it's not executing the SQL, which means I probably have a bug in the SQL and it's probably throwing an error. I'm just not doing anything with the error. It's probably what's happening here. Create table if not exists. So let's go back over here for a second. What is different between these two things? Didn't end with a comma there. I don't think that's going to be it, surely. Cache. Let's delete this. Probably already missed it. Journey outputs. Just save that. Just start over. Actually, what we can do, I can turn that off for a second. Let's go all the way up here to our this and do generate outputs. We'll just turn that off because that way it'll go faster. I can also point it. I actually pointed to the demo site. I lied. Let's do this. So over here, we're going to go into NV and we're going to go to library, applications, support, Neopoligen, config, JSON. And let's go dev site. And now restart this finder. So we should see in here Neopoligen. I'm going to actually pull dev site over here. Dev site. Boop. Cache. Boom. Same thing. Okay. So it's not there. So at least we're seeing consistent behavior. Cool. So probably, I'm guessing if we do it match this, and I'm guessing this is going to give us okay. Wait, who wants to guess this is a, yeah, it should be a result, right? Okay. Don't care. There's that pause, man. Just totally error E. And then we just want to do debug. Gah. See what that does. The file's gotta not exist first, right? Delete. See if we see an error here. Hey, look at that. Error. Syntax error near slash. Some near slash. What? Create cache database. SQLite failure. Error. Unknown. Extended code 1. Near this. Do I have to have a... 135. It's on the same thing. Let's just put a semicolon there. If not exists, page cache. Oh, I see what I did. I put an extra comma there. SQL doesn't like that. Try again. Database. Table and database. Sweet. Right, so database ID, which will just auto-generate. Page ID, which will pull from the page. Cache hash, which will generate from the contents of the file. The output and the output for RSS. I love it. Love everything about it. Cool. Yeah, so that's like a bummer, and whatever, it's fine. It's how SQL does. But if you have a comma, if you have a trailing comma behind your SQL statements, it or your whatever that's not called, variables, arguments, some things, it pukes. I'm just gonna leave this like this, because what eventually, like if I was gonna go back and restructure this now, or if I was gonna do this again, what I'd actually do is where this result is, I would populate everything back up, and then at the top level, which is like here, if I hit an error, deal with it there. Because right now I'm just slurping all those things up and not doing anything with them. Like ideally you would have error handling happen right there, and kind of cascade up. I didn't know how to do that at that point, so I didn't. And like refactoring back into that is probably a non-trivial task that I'm not going to do right now. So cool. Let's see. But this is working. That's fine. I can just leave that like that. So let's actually go here and go into Neopoligen and whatever, it's fine. Starting to create cache database. Theoretically, I could mention that those templates are changed, but it's fine. Solo project. All good. Something just dinged. My phone just dinged. I don't know where it went. I'll deal with that later. So here, whoops, is this one. We know how to do that now, so we can get rid of that. We're making this now. So the next thing we need to do is start populating this data. So this database is just going to exist now. Like it's going to be there waiting for us. If it doesn't exist, it'll get recreated, etc. But it's gonna get made at the start of the run if necessary. So now what we need to do is go through and probably here and ingest source files. Oh, actually I can turn this back on now. I never turned it off. Yeah, I went to the, yeah, see how much faster it works when you only have like one file? Goes pretty quick. I guess we can pull up, if I refresh that, it's probably gonna explode because I don't think that's actually there. If I go to home, oh, this is it, yeah. So this is the page it's making. I think it may be one other page on the site or whatever, but it just does the things and like, cool, it works. So inside ingest source files, this we need to do regardless. So I want to pull the data, like I want to read the file, and then I can hash the data at that point. Because somehow we got to read the file. So we might as well just read the file once, hash it, and do that all as this ingestion step. So file read a string source. So this goes through and we do new from string v42 over here. Sorry, 1 second. My music just got weird. There's the ding again. I just lost chat. Not that anybody's chatting, but you know, just in case. Where's chat? There's chat. All right. So we've got this new from string v42. Which in our page, which I think is actually open, I can just zip over to it right now, but we're here, so might as well do it this way. Page v42. So it's going to be in init. Yeah. New from string v42. So it takes a source path source project folder. And it returns this kind of empty structure for us. But really what we want to do is rust hash text. I don't think I have that yet. Rest MD5. I don't actually want to use MD5, but I'll see if it's in there. Nope. SHA. Get the string thing from UUID. Okay, the same UUID from a string repeatedly. I could actually do this and make it a UUID. But I already got that. That's all right. Because like what this will do is UUID 5. If you send it a string, it will always generate the same UUID if you always send it the same string. So we could actually use that for a hash, but I actually want to pull a SHA-1 on it. So let's go look at Rust SHA hash. Actually, I don't know if it's SHA-1 or SHA whatever anymore. SHA-3. Oh, God. Creates IO Rust package. I don't remember what implementation of the SHA-2 cryptographic algorithm. There's 6 standard algorithms specified in the SHA-2 standard. All the algorithms are just applications of these with different initial hash values and truncated to different lengths. First 2 algorithms in the list are based off SHA-256, while the last 4 are 512. Okay, so probably 256 is going to be fine for us. Because like I used to do this with MD5, and doing it with MD5 would still be fine for what I'm doing here in terms of this caching stuff. But like MD5 now has some problems or issues with collisions or something. I'm not really sure. But the way to do it these days, or last I checked, is SHA. And so I guess it's the SHA-256. So we want to load this first. Let's get back to our TOML here. I don't think I have this yet. Oh, I do have it yet. I've already done some of this before. Have I mentioned that this is the 42nd version of this? So like some of this stuff already exists. It's quite possible. SHA. It's not in this version yet, though. That's fine. Let's go back to page. Actually, what version was this? This is SHA-2 0.10.8. What did I have in my Cargill TOML? Oops. Oh, SHA-256. Let's go look at this in crates.io. So crates.io. I just want to see what the most popular SHA package is, and then just use that. SHA, yes, well, that's underscore 256. SHA. That doesn't seem right. Let's look at all-time downloads. A hash. 100,000, 200 millions. Non-cryptographic hash function using the bubble for high performance. Yeah, SHA-2. Here we go. Yeah, this is the one to use. 281 million. Okay, cool. So that's the one we want to use. So we're going to get rid of this and go to SHA-2. SHA-2. And 10.8. Oops. 0, 10, 8. Close that. So that should refire this. Hello. There it goes. We'll actually see if there's still old SHA code in there now. Doesn't look like it. Set helper. Someone get rid of that warning. I don't know why. Section V42. Oh, wait. Section V42. Where's this getting used? RSS shorts to flatten. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm using that. I can bring it back in if necessary later. Just trying to keep the warnings down. Okay, so let's do this. Rust, create a SHA hash, SHA-2 hash. Create a SHA-2, and I'm going to do this. So let's go to, oops, let's go back to crates or docs. And then we'll do 256 or 512. Hash from a file. And this is going to be, let's just make this a draft. And we'll do tag as Rust. And that'll be fine for now. So I'm just going to drop the code in here to start with because I'm not doing my Rusto. I'm not actually generating the site right now because we're in this dev site or whatever. So I'm not going to look at the page, but that'll be fine. I'll just leave it open. We'll do it later. Or I can just look at it later. So hex literal. So SHA. So let's see. So the first thing we want to do, well, I'm not going to do it from a file yet. So note, this is from a string right now. To do, make it from a file. I do want to do it from a string. That's cool. I mean, that's already end up there. But so we're going to make a hasher update, write the input message, result, hasher finalize, result hex. I don't know what this literal hex is. Like, why? Is that a thing? Can I just to string that? Like, this is doing the assert equal, so like I understand that's like that is what it's producing or whatever. But the question is, do I need to do that or can I just make it a string? Let's go look at this for a second. Pub core wrapper. Core wrapper. This doesn't tell me it's returning anything. Oh, it's a struct. Got it. Returns a default value for type. Okay, whatever. Let's just run it and see what happens. So backing up one. It has digest too. Is digest used in here anywhere? I don't see digest. I just want to pull out as much stuff as possible so we're only putting in the things that we need. Which if we need digest, we'll add it back in. But there's that. So we need to do, how do you spell dependencies again? DEPEN and dependencies. SHA-2 equals 0.10.8, he thinks. 0 to 8. Yay. Okay, cool. And then here what we want to do is reuse that and then, whoops, drop down one. We do function main. Let's just do print line something just to make sure we're actually live here. So if I run that, it's a good sign. It's pulling shit down. Cool. Nice. Did that. Okay. So we've got that. Now what we can do is make our hasher. And then hasher update. Oh, it's going in as bytes. I think that's what that means with the B. And then let's just do this result, hasher finalized. And then debug result. New function associated, not found in core wrapper. Here we go. So there's where digest needs to be pulled in. Okay, cool. I didn't see it explicitly. And like, we know that like some of this stuff we don't need, right? Because I'm not doing 512 tests, so I don't need the 512. I didn't see digest in here, but it makes sense that it's like a thing. There we go. There's our result. Got it. So that's the hex values or whatever. Now, if I do toString, what happens? It explodes. Okay, cool. Generic array. I'm guessing we're going to have to do this hex. How do we make it a string? Rust crypto hashes readme. Let's go look at that because it's right. It's listed here. Oh, all kinds of shit. Data string finalize print binary hash. So that's getting it out. Because I got to make that font a little bigger. Chain update finalize digest my message. How do I get SHA-256 new? So it should be this, right? Because this is the struct. No, type alias. Hasher, implementations, decompose from core. Is there anything in here that gives me decompose? Decomposes wrapper into parts. Okay, not helpful. See, this doesn't show me create a new wrapper from core, decompose in the core. Okay, traits. Block size. Clone. FMT formatter. What if I just do default? Gives me a core wrapper. What's in core wrapper? Wraparound buffer can use. Feature only with core API. Okay, so probably not that. We'll look at it in a second, but let's go through here first. Finalize. Finalize into. Finalize fixed. Yes, these are coming back as generic arrays. Which is cool and all, but not what I want. Result, invalid link, new from slice. Key size, output size. Reset, update, chain. Right flush, right vectored. Like right, this was right. Right's a buffer into this right. Okay, no, that's what we want. Right all. By ref. Okay, so that's all the things. How do we get yield text out of this? Let's go look at back up the repo and see if we've got examples. SHA-2 tests. Source benches tests. I didn't see examples in here. Right? No examples file? No examples folder? All right, so let's just look at SHA-2. Look at our tests and see if our tests give us anything. It's probably going to be, yeah, it's doing the same hex stuff. Hex literal hex. What's going on? What does hex literal do? Ooh, thunder. This crate provides a hex macro for converting hexadecimal string literals into a byte array at compile time. It accepts the following characters as input strings. Okay, so this turns it to a byte array. I just want to see the Rust SHA-2 text string. Result string. That sounds like what we're looking for. I can't see figure out how to convert this into a string. Yeah. The following works. Let mute. Update. Oh, you got to do a format here. X means format as hexadecimal. Using the format update hex trait, which is implemented on generic array. That means use the format. Perfectly clear. Okay. Obtain hashing output as a string. Let's see if there's other. Yeah, you probably want to convert it to a hex representation. The type implements upper hex and lower hex. You can do this format string. Yeah, okay, cool. So you we're just gonna put it through a formatter. Cool. Okay. That makes sense. So let's do that. Which is gonna be this. And up here, we want to do this. So we've got finalize, which we could actually just drop in here, hasher finalize, and then we could do result string, and then we should be able to drop that. And now if I run this, there's our result. Let's do this. Print line result. Go. That way you just see that. There's our hash. Ref URL. We'll pull this as a reference. The other one that I'm probably going to do before long is setting up. I'm actually going to set up a little like internal server to let me make an extension for my browser that lets me like do bookmarks automatically and throw them in my grimoire. Just kind of like boop. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be cool. It'll be handy because I won't have to do quite all that like jumping around to get stuff going. But there's our hash. Okay, cool. So now we can pull this, right? So let's do this. Function get string as hash. As SHA 256 hash. And we're going to take input is going to be that, and it's going to return. Right now I'm just going to do a string, which is probably some error handling in there that we'd want to do, but this will get us there for now. Why don't we go ahead and actually do this? Result string. I want to increasingly have error handling kind of built into all the stuff that I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that into my notes. Boop. So here we want to do this hasher. So we're going to pull the hasher down here. We're going to pull the update down here, and this is going to be, we're going to hash. Ooh, interesting. Format. I'm just totally guessing here. Input, right? Because we need to format it as B, and we're getting this as an input string. So try that. And the result is going to be this. And then we're going to do OK result for our return. And here what we want to do is grab this name and do this. Oops. We'll just do it this way. My Vimness disappeared there. And we want to pass a string of let input equals hello world, WORLD, to string, lowercase. And here we'll do a reference to input. And get string. So what we want to do is debug print line. Let's do output. How about this? Let output equal. No, we want to unwrap it. This is where so this is where I'm trying to use anyhow result. And so we want to have anyhow in here. Rust anyhow. Anyhow result. Which one is this using? It's not. Rust. Anyhow. Does this have? There you go. Anyhow 109. That's fine. Right. So there's that. And then what we want to do is go ahead and do this. Result like that. Hello world hash. And then what I should be able to do is let output equal this. And if we put a question mark here and we do print line output, save. Let's run this. Mismatch delimiter. Rip. What? Format. Oh. Right here. Print line output. Oh, right. Yep. Mismatch. Implicit returns. Oh, the trait binary is not implemented. Required bound in this call. Okay, so it's not binary. Does this work? Nope. Now the question is, why did that work? But this wanted the B in front of it. Rust B in front of string. Any string prefixed by B tells the compiler that the string should be treated as a byte sequence. This is called a byte string literal. You can read more about it in the Rust reference. In short, a string in Rust is a valid sequence of Unicode characters, and hence it can be represented as that. A byte is also an 8-bit integer, so it's considered as a sequence of Unicode bytes. The hash or write functions, which is actually exactly what we're looking at, takes that, basically a sequence of bytes. In order to convert your string to bytes, you prefix it with a B. So I don't know why this worked, but if I just do input here, let's see if it fails. Does not fail. Change something just so we can see the hash change. I'm kind of concerned that worked. We get the same output. I'm going to leave the as bytes there because that's what that other thing is doing. Even though it looks like maybe it just handles it now. But I like the fact that it's like explicit like that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is cool, right? Create a shell hash. Cool. So now we can do this. We can just grab this and we can use this as our function. I'm going to add this to helpers. I don't really think it needs to be used in anything else, but we're going to keep it anyways. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, get, F, G, H, I. So it should go there, right? Oh, get string. Whoops, undo. goes here. And then we need to pull what? We need to pull a couple of these things. Where'd they go? Not anyhow. We can close that. That's a Rust YAML example. We can close that. Create a thing. This is what we're looking for. We want to grab this and put that in helpers. Where do helpers go? Right here. You know what? Let's go ahead and clear these. I haven't used them in a hot minute. And that is using that for an error type. So what type of error does that return? This is where anyhow would be great. Actually, use anyhow result as any result. And then get string. Let me see if this works. If I make this any result, see if I understand what's happening here. That could work. Yeah. It's never used, but that's fine. We can go back and use it now. Rust, create a string hash. So this is going to go, is this a, what did I change this? Yeah, it's a draft. Okay, cool. So I'll see that in a minute. Generate that. We could have done that. This is 5. Here's our nits, which is where we're actually going to use this, right? Because what we want to do is in here, we want to do use create helpers. Let's do star for right now. And then here, let cache hash equal get whoa, what do they call it? Okay, whatever. So we passed in the source as a string reference. So let's do source as bytes. Let's just see if that goes. Did not like it. Helpers, self, star. Wait, why remove unused input? Unknown field. I didn't put that at the end of it. Also, it seems like maybe I'm not using this yet. I know what I did. I didn't make it public. That's why it wasn't working. So shouldn't I be able to star there? Remove the whole row. Yeah. And then here, should be able to do that now, right? Source. Arguments are incorrect. All right, let's see what's up. Expected string. UA. It does want a string. Oh, right. I'm passing a string in. Right. That conversion happens over in Otherland. But this is it's already a string. See, this is where, now I wouldn't do it like this. I would have passed a string reference in instead of a string slice like that. See if that gets us there. Good news is I'm kind of starting to understand how all this stuff is connecting up. I mean, I'm understanding it much more, actually. Like, I've started understanding it a while ago, but like, I'm definitely starting to learn it much more. So now if we do this, and I'm just going to do okay, right? Because we're going to, that didn't work so great. What did I hit? Just jumped all the way through time. Okay, and we put that there. See what yeah, so the goal here really would be, in the longer term, is to make this a result. And then like here, you would do that so that it actually like did the stuff for you and like the unpack and all the other things with the result or whatever. I'm not like, that's a huge refactor to go do that. Yeah, passing result. So here we're just going to do, oh wait, it's already, That's already a result. I don't think this is going to work, though. If I take this away, it's a different type of result, right? Yeah. Expected options string. Okay, so does that get me a string? I still don't totally understand the .ok stuff. That looks like that just worked. That's cool. I need to look more into that. Did the OK convert it into from OK into a sum none into an option? That seems like what it is from the types, from the way I'm reading the types. TBD. So now, ingest source files, right? So we've made this. Oh, you know, the other thing we should do is inside our thing here. Let's go back to Builder. Actually, we're in Builder. We should make a database connection in here and just use that single connection so we're not having to connect to it all the time. Is that right? I'm really not sure. The RUSQLite Rust. Because is there a... There's an execute. I don't see a con close. Items. Connection. Does have a close. Closes SQLite connection. This function is equivalent to drop invitation of connection, except that on failure, it turns an error in the connection itself. Presumably, so closing can be attempted again. Failure, right? Okay. So there is a close. So I think what I want to do is actually close the connection here. No. We definitely don't want to do that because it would just be like a blah, blah, blah. So when we make the builder, let's do pub dbcon, and this is going to be option connection. Is that going to work? That's going to freak out because we don't have dbcon in there. And so where is, this is on in a inits in our builder. We need to make a connection. So I could just make the connection here, right? So when we make a builder, the builder, part of the build process is going to be to check the cache. So I think no, it's really more the site level when that happens. It's not necessarily the builder. So let's make the environment template. What all does this make here? Template dir, right? So there's our source. Built-in templates. Builder. This is where we're going to need it. So we can fix it right now just by doing this. But should we make the connection when we first start? I kind of don't think we should. Create cache database. The thing that I'm wondering here is if if I make the connection like span the entire thing, that means whenever I'm testing and fire up a builder, there has to be a connection that's involved. And so which I don't want to do necessarily, because I think that's going to make testing harder. Or which I necessarily don't want to do, because I'm pretty sure that would make testing harder. So I'm trying to figure out what the right way, or what a good way to make the connection is. So I guess I could do it on create cache database here, right? We could set this up to become our connection. Where'd it go? That's inits. We don't need that anymore. It's page we're going to close for a second. Helpers we're going to go ahead and close. Sitemap we're going to close. Here's builder. So cache database. So here, self dbcon connection. And then self dbcon. Oh, it's got to be mutable, right? So if we make this mutable, so it's going to work. This is where I still don't totally have my head around how this stuff works. Incompatible types. Expected option connection. Found connection. I'm guessing this is going to be an okay. So can I also do this? Expect reason. I still didn't like it. Self dbcon execute. Because it's an option there. Oh, right. See, this is where these things throw me a little bit. Because I'm doing this up here, right? Yeah, see, this makes the environment to start with, which means it's not an option. But if we make this a dbcon, then we need to do it. That means it's an option. Need database connection. This feels a little bit weird, but I think it's going to get me there in a second. Cannot move out of, which is behind. Crap. No problems. Okay, self dbcon. Consider calling as ref or as mute to borrow types contents. This is line 61. Nope. There we go. That could work. Again, I'm still not totally having in my mental brain where the reference stuff is going. Like I kind of understand what's happening here. Like I don't want to use the database connection directly. I need to use it as a reference, and that makes it be okay. Is as far as I can get in my head right now on that. But that should give us that. And now we've got access to that self down here. So now when we do ingest, actually, let's do this. So when we made the pages, if path is file. So we've made our new page right here. And then we've inserted the path in the page. If I debug right here for a second, and I do reference to page dot cache, whoops, nope, okay, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Page, new from string v42. Let's go look back at page for a second. Right, init, cache hash. So that should be what's returned. So why? Oh, wait, is this just because it doesn't show up in Rust thing yet? No, move value. Page clone. Put that there. I should see the cache of that page now. Right there. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to, so like we're going off the idea that those are always going to come back. So we've got that cache hash now. So that's in there. It's just in our general object. So that's awesome. Now, what do we do with that? When we're making this, I'm going to close that. We need to go look at generated outputs again. Generate outputs. Generating outputs. Okay. So we're cloning our site. Page issue template result. We're getting that. Generate outputs. So for page and page, or for page, whatever. Because the pages are inside a B tree. So let's do this. If template, let's do this. Right here, debug, let's do page ID and page cache hash. We should be able to get both of those things because I'm pretty sure ID is right. Survey says. Cool. So there's our ID, there's our cache hash. And those are the two values that we want to have inside our data. So now what we want to do is we want to query the database for that. Rust SQLite select. All right, so we've got our connection. Get items. Oh, here's get items. So SQLite. So we want to prepare a statement. I'm overthinking this. We'll refactor this out probably later. Self.db underscore asref expect dbcon prepare select whatever. There we go. Remove this mutable. Cool. We're not using it. That's fine. And then here params. What is that? Item. Oh, this is coming down as a struct. Interesting. Oh, but I'm doing there. Somebody says, okay, what is params? 1. Row iter. Query map. RUSQLite. RUSQLite query map. Query map. I execute the prepared statements and maps the function over the resulting rows, returning an iterator of the max function rows. So I don't know if that's actually what I want. Really what I want is query row, right? Convenience method to execute a query that is expected to return a single row, which is what we want to have. If the query returns more than one row, all rows except the first are ignored. That's fine. Returns error if no result is returned. If the query truly is optional, you can call .optional on the result to get on the result of this to get a result option T. Failure, error. So I just needed to throw me an error, right? Because it's going to return a result of type T. So let's look at this. I'm going to take that param stuff out of there for a second. And we just want to look at, actually, where's the homepage for this? right? What's an example? Query maps. They didn't do anything here. I'm okay with this. So really what we want to do is this. Let found it. Really. Oh, see, the REST server analyzer canceled the request. I got to figure out why it keeps doing that. So we want to do query row. So frustrating right now with that. Query row. Params. How do I do? It'd be super cool if there was an example of this right here. Let's look at the repo, see if there's examples. Examples, yay. Owning statement, owning rows, persons. Query map. See, I don't want to map it for person and rows. I want to use this query row thing. I want to figure it out. Query row. Wow, it sucks. Expected 2 arguments, found 1. Okay. So this for query map is taking an empty whatever. Right by bound, introduce the thing. Okay. Expected a for once row closure, found the statement. Are you SQLite LITE query row? A pretty simple. We have a few rows in a table. I'm able to see the rows in CLI, and by using query row. Oh, it'd be so cool. Yeah, query row, SQLite, no params. I can't hit the right thing to save my life there. So let's do this. Expected row. Closure. That would have been cool. Expect a result or error. Found this. So how? Okay, that kind of makes sense. But does it really? No params. I don't know where no params comes from, but it's passing to a function here. Expected result with error. All right, we're gonna go back to query map because I don't understand it. And like this, we can at least try. But we might see. I don't want to map it. That's mapping to an OK with an item. Because this is going to return a vec of items. So that's what's throwing there. Okay. Ugh. Okay, so I want to move this to its own thing. That's what I want to do. Pub function get page hash from DB. And it's going to be self. And no, what's the best way to do this? I'm kind of stuck right now in my head. All right, let me just see if I can query the thing with doing exactly this. So params, and then rows iter. But this is just going to be okay of I don't really care right now. Okay, it needs something in it, right? Needs a value. So if I just pass unit back, what happens? I don't understand where this query params 1 is, or what the 1 is. Let's see if we can figure that out real quick. Kind of, I don't think it matters for our thing right here, but I'd like to know. So RUSQLite query map. Query map. Oh, it's just a straight query. What does that do? Execute the prepared statement, returning a handle of the resulting rows. Due to lifetime restrictions, the rows returned by the query do not implement the iterator. Consider using query map or query and then. Okay. Which do? What's query and then? Whatever. Query map. Returning an iterator with the map functions, right? F is used to transform the streaming iterator into a standard iterator, which is this. So that's the function. See, this is just passing nothing here. I don't know why mine has a 1 there. I don't know where that came from. I'd kind of like to know. Params. Rust query. Because I'm not actually using the params here. Oh, yeah, I am. Shh. It's right here. Okay. That's where the 1's coming in. I got it. I understand what's happening now. Got it. So params, this doesn't actually need to be anything. We can just do that. And then we get to row. And that's going to be okay, but we're not using row. So the row's coming back. So this is giving us query map. There's all our stuff. Explode somewhere else. Main panicked mod 371. Okay, that's here. dbcon. So it doesn't have the database connection. I need that connection to persist. Because otherwise we're going to... It doesn't need the one there right now because it's like doing the thing. Still gonna explode though, right? Take that off for a second. So why is this not working, right? Because we have generate outputs. Oh, you know what? We want to make the connection regardless. There we go. I was only connecting if the file didn't exist, but we want the connection to happen regardless. Row, iter. Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. Now we're making the connection. We're doing our selection. So we don't need this. What's our database format? I don't know why SQLite takes so long to spin up. It's like one of the fastest little like things around for using. But that app seems to be very slow. I don't understand it. So page output cache. So we want page ID and cache hash. And I guess output. I guess output for RSS. So we want all those things. Select page ID, cache hash, output for RSS, right? From page output cache, page output cache, CACHE, where page ID equals that and cache hash equals that. Rows iter. And so here what we want to do is with our page, we are going to do these. Right? So we want to take a reference to page ID and we want to take a reference to page cache hash. And then here, let's just dump VG rows iter. Let's see what happens. Like a compile. Mapped rows is pissed. Cannot be formatted, boo, because it doesn't implement debug. Okay. So rows, we just loop through them, right? Mute items, iter, vac, rows. So rows iter. Just do this. Debug item. Well, now. Could be a result, but that's fine. Page cache hash, page cache hash. Where is my... I don't think that mapped. Oh, there's no, it's not in there. Right. Right, because we had like that cache isn't in there right now. So debug rows iter len. Does that work? Which language am I in? That's not gonna work, is it? No. Let's go look at the docs. Query map, result of mapped rows. So this is a result, but we're unwrapping the result of mapped rows. And it didn't explode, which is cool. Which makes sense. Mapped rows. An iterator over the mapped. Next, I think count. Ah. So now we should see the number. It should be 0. Zero. Perfect. Take those out for a second. Debug page overlap path. Get page templates here. I'll leave it to do there. I don't really know what it means right now. So here we go. Oh, I see. I'm opening the template every time. That could be moved up. That's an optimization. I don't think that's really good. It's going to matter even less when we do this. So if that equals 0, then we want to do all this jazz. Hey, no. Oh, wait. It's not implemented for usize integer. Okay. Please work. I just hucked the closing squirrely bracket down there, and like sometimes finding where those go is kind of a pain, but this appears to have worked. Okay, so let's do this. Content, right? So I should be able to burn these 2 files. No, I should be able to burn these files and then rerun this, and then we should see an index file show up there, right? Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Sweet. There's no content in it. That's not great. 30 bytes. Why isn't nothing showing up? Apparently you can't open that file by itself. Oh, I'm doing weird stuff with the trying to make flash of unstyled content not happen. That's why there's nothing showing up there. Don't worry about it. It's silly. But did throw me there for a second. So here, all right, so we've got, if nothing is in there, we make that happen. So this is the first step. So checking cache to see if the page has changed. So if that happens, we do all that stuff. And then what we're doing, so really what we want to do is this, else. Now I'll make this a not. Right, if it's not 0, we have data. And then this is, if it is 0, we go into the else. Okay, so dbg. We shouldn't hit that right now because we should still hit to the else statement because we're checking to see if it's 0 or not. The only reason I'm putting this up here is just because it's easier to see right now. The order doesn't actually matter for me. So we shouldn't see an ASDF there. Yeah, cool. But what we'd want to do here is if we got this, if the row count is not 0, we're going to deal with this later. To do. Move results to page. But what we do need to do is down here, we need to add all this stuff in because we know the page ID and we know the hash. Page issues, page hash, page output, some output. So when we get to the end of all this, so we've updated page right here. And we've got okay on the template. So when we come down here, at this point, we should have page.id, debug, page, cache hash, and page output. If we have output, I'm going to assume we have output RSS. So you should see all that stuff fly in. There's our output. Perfect. Okay, cool. There's all that stuff. So now we just need to put that in the database with the thing. So we've got our connection. So G, we're going to Rust SQLite insert with a transaction. Perfect. So we've got our connection. Insert data, make DB, insert data. So we want to make a transaction. And here, we want to do self dbcon as ref expect dbcon. Probably different ways to do this. Transaction. Here's our SQL. Insert into page output cache. Value is really not a good term for that example. Because values is a thing and then one or whatever. We want to do page ID, cache hash, output. Also, it doesn't help that I'm misspelling output. That's not, it's just that I would see it so much faster if it would let me see it. Output to RSS, output for RSS. For RSS. So in these, I'm just gonna make this all one big line right now. Values 1, 2, 3, 4. Execute SQL, and then we want to do for num 1 to 10. Okay, we don't need that. We need to do this. Take that away. Save that. Let me just get that to format over there. Oh, hopefully that's not going to run. It's going to explode anyways. Whatever. So now we need to make these things. And here what we want to do is a reference to page ID, reference to page cache hash, reference to page output, reference to page output for RSS. Don't need that last comma now. And then we're going to commit that. Save it. Rip. Cannot borrow is mutable. I'm just guessing now. Help remove this mute. Cannot borrow is mutable. Oh, come on. Remove this TX. So this self DB cone inspect as reference. So this needs to be mutable up here. No, it is mutable. Help remove this mute. Oh, we already did that. Cannot borrow data in an and reference is mutable. So what if we change this to as mute? That was worth a shot. Immutable borrow occurs here. Mutable borrow occurs here. dbcon. I don't think this matters. Yeah, this is where the stuff gets in my head. dbcon. I did as ref earlier, right? If I make those both mutable, nope, rip. I would prefer not to have to make connections all the time, but maybe you only have to make it once. No, because we're going to be querying. Well, I don't know. We're going to look down there too. First, make it work, then we can optimize it. Start with that. So create database cache. would like to know why this doesn't work. A mutable borrow occurs here. Why is that an immutable borrow? I don't understand enough about what's happening there to figure out what's going on. Mutable bar occurs here as mute. Mutable bar occurs there. Right. So I don't. Where's dbcon? Can I change this to that? No. This is on 346. 364. Temporary. Come on. Oh, as mute. Reference mute self. Oh god. Where'd you get a punt? Maybe. I don't know. 4-page and mute self. Pages 42. Mute self or self. This isn't gonna work. Cannot borrow SQL as mutable as it's behind a ref. Right. That makes sense. First mutable borrow occurs there. 369, which is right here. SQL is a reference. So the data it refers to cannot be borrowed as mutable. I don't. Immutable borrow there. Okay, hang on. Consider changing this to be mutable. SQLite mutable. Immutable borrow there. No. Because it's also barred as immutable on 409. Cannot borrow as mutable. There's fewer errors now. Cannot borrow data in references mutable on 409. Why not? Can I make that a reference? That'd be cool. Which is not implement copy. No. Still can't borrow as mutable. Okay, so this has to come back as mutable. But how do we do that if we've made SQL up here? Cannot be borrowed as mutable. So this is returning. Whoa, that was a lot. Please work. Crap. Expect is not a function. Yeah, definitely not with 2 dots. It isn't. Temporary value is freed. Okay, progress. Maybe. Binding self declared here. Borrow occurs there. Move out of self DB occurs there. YOLO. Nope. Method can call an option connection due to unsatisfied trait bound. So it's an option. Wait a minute. Am I? No. No way that works. This is an option. Some. Is some. I'm just completely YOLOing all over the place right now. Ooh, interesting. Oh, is some. Okay. So that is some. Got it. But that's a. Whatever. Method not found. Unwrap. But this is going to get back into the borrowing stuff, right? Binding self declared here. So at the top, we do that. Borrow self DB occurs there. Move out of self DB occurs there. Borrow might be used here when a SQL is drop and runs the drop from the statement. I'm about to punt. Consider using asref or asmutable to borrow the type's contents, which is what we tried. But if I put asref there, maybe? Oh, worth a shot. Not found in connection. Okay, so this is the connection. We tried clone here. We can try clone here. Some of this is also me figuring out how this stuff works. I understand what's happening in terms of, I understand why the references are doing the thing. I just don't know where all the pieces are. So I don't have like a full understanding of it yet, right? Because generate outputs, we have to have immutable self binding because we're updating the stuff that's inside of it. And so, oh, let's 364. If I make this, but see, that's a new error. Remove that mutable. Okay. Do that. SQL is a reference. So the data it refers to cannot be barred as mutable. This is going to walk in the same trap, I think. I'm going to punt. Okay, cool. No problem. We're just going to connect and do it just straight as a connection. So this goes away. This becomes let dbcon do all that stuff. db, and then we're going to need to copy this because we need to go dbcon. And this is going to be here. Match dbcon is ref. Probably doesn't actually need to be a ref error. It's fine. And then here, we're going to make the database connection again and just do this. Actually, you can roll that up there, hopefully, right? Considering changing that to mutable. Cool. And then there should be one more down here, right? Page output, tx commit. So save this. Close this for a second. Whoops. And burn the. Oh, wait, hang on. Maybe this just works. This would be cool, right? It's not wrapped. Consider using option something. Dot expect dbcon. This is gross. Like coon con. Okay, 365. I'm about to just move it in and do it one time here. I don't understand what's happening though. Self-site config. So we're making a database connection. We've got it. Borrow of dbcon occurs here. It's still going to be a borrow. Remove this mutable. A temporary with access. I get it. I get it. I get it. I don't know how to fix it. So we're calling Azref. Unwrap. I'm willing to let this explode it just because the accept is throwing me there for a second. I don't think it actually matters any difference. Okay, we saw that in a second. So on line 361, move occurs because dbcon has a type of option which does not implement the copy trait. Oh, you know what? I don't. Connection open. No, that's right. What if we do that to start with? Better? It's also entirely possible that I was doing all that stuff because I was bouncing off an option instead of. Can I borrow dbcon? Okay. Mutable bar occurs there. How is this supposed to work? So I've got the connection. That would have been cool though. SQLite is a reference, so the data it refers to cannot be barred as mutable. Consider changing this to be a mutable reference on 365. I don't think that's going to help us, right? Cannot be barred as mutable. Consider changing that on 361. So that's a mutable reference. A mutable borrows there on 365. So that's an immutable reference. Can be transferred immutable word here. Okay, whatever. We're just going to do it every single time. Don't care. I don't totally understand why this isn't working, but we're going to do this. We're going to make our connection, dbcon. We're going to get the rows editor, which is our query in our map. And it's just going to do that. And then we're going to do dbcon close, CLOS close, CLOSE, save. Save that. And then let's go ahead and clear these for a second. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. connection. Got it. So wait. Cannot be marked as mutable. Rose iter. Let SQL mute. I clearly need to make a better example of this because this is not making sense to me at all. Move out of dbcon occurs here. That SQL should be done. Why can't I close the connection? Binding of dbcon occurs there, right? So that's here. Borrow occurs here. Move out of dbcon occurs there. Borrow might be used here when SQL is dropped and runs the drop code for the statement. So this is line 433, which I'm guessing is the end of this. Borrow might be used there when SQL is dropped and runs drop. So I can't. This is cool in terms of reading it, but I still don't know how to write it. Right? Okay, so we're reading the database. That works. And we're doing it over the loop. So we've got the database and we've got the connection. Right? So it didn't format. That's kind of weird. I don't like that. Whatever. So our connection's happening. And then inside our connection, we're making a SQL statement. We're preparing it, we're running it, we're doing it. Not helpful. Down here, we need to be able to do this. But if we make it mutable up there, it's still not going to work, I don't think. Now we're going to get the other bar errors, right? Yeah. Because it's also barred as immutable. How do you do this? This seems crazy. Because it's SQLite, so I don't want to make two connections to it at the same time because that's asking for trouble. Insert without a transaction. Insert data. Con open. Insert data. Execute. Okay. I was trying to do it as a transaction, but I think we're going to not do transactions because I think there's a problem. Right? Because as soon as I take this out, this works. So I don't understand how transaction stuff works. Maybe if I put the transaction above it. Oh, that's probably what I need to do. Can you execute multiple on a transaction? I don't know. We're going to punt on this right now, though. So we have our database connection up here. We've got our SQL statement doing our query. We're in here. We've hit this. Now what we want to do is just punch this through. So this is Neopoligen. That's fine. Let's just grab this. And right here, we're going to do this. We've got our connection. Insert data. Insert into. This is our SQL. Boom. And then what we want to do is dbcon. Good Lord. Actually, let's just capture it. Let that equal. Save. Man, it's not formatting. That's a bummer. Insert data. This becomes SQL. Unexpected close delimiter. Really wish it was formatting again. What is this? Build something? See if I reopen the file if it decides to behave. Cool. Okay. Execute connection. SQL red, red, red. Okay, so that's not actually what we want to have happen in there. We would need to have these things happen. Right? I gotta fix that Rust analyzer soon. Gonna drive me nuts. Boom. Get rid of those. Get rid of that. Save that. Still not formatting. That's super a bummer. Makes me super nervous when it doesn't format. I might need to just quit Vim and start all the way over. I got a bunch of files open though, so I don't want to mess with that. All right, so with luck, this cache file is going to have a database in it in a second that's going to show us a bunch of cache data, right? Browse data. Look at that. Sweet. Why is that? Oh, it's just a bunch of data. It's all pushed down. Okay, I should fix that at some point. But there we go. Okay, so there is our data with our cache. That took way too long. That took way too long. Getting basic cache. Starting to save data in cache. I like the idea of transactions, but there's something happening there that I don't understand. Probably what I need to do is move the transaction right below the connection and only do the SQL statements inside the transaction and the executions on the transaction close or commit or whatever. But I don't know if you can do multiples in there, and I don't want to mess with that right now. The question really is, one, all right, I'm just going to quit this, and then we're going to run back into it, so hopefully it's going to format for me, because if it doesn't, that might be a sign that something else is actually wrong. Where were we? 434-ish? Oh, it did. No, didn't format. Save. See, it's not formatting. I don't like that. But what we should see is here, debug, found cache. Show me a found cache, please. Show me 2 found caches, please. Rip. I still only have 2 in there, so that's good. I'm confused as to why it's probably throwing an error somewhere that I'm not seeing. This is the other thing I'd like to figure out is why it takes so long to compile. Yeah, no cache, no cache. So it doesn't think this hit the cache. Which debug page ID and debug cache hash, right? Because in here we have these values. Oh, I understand what's happening now. Let's try this. Unwrap. Unwrap. Oh, God. How about now? Definitely exploded. Why pissed? Wait, what? Reference. Unwrap. I don't care right now. I will get better at figuring that stuff out as I get more practice. This is part of the practice, but that's not the thing we're practicing right now. No cache. That's because we're not inserting right. Right? We're not doing unwrap, 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 unwrap. There's probably ways that that's going to explode too at some point and come back and bite me. Cannot move out of... Yeah, okay, so just clone them all. I don't understand why that has to be a clone. It might be able to be an asref. I don't know. It's saying clone. I'm going to go with the debugger. No cache. All right, so if we do it again, so wait. Yeah, it was already showing up in there. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. Let's do this. I want to delete that file. I want to start straight from scratch. We're just going to run everything again. All right, so now we should see the SQLite database, and the SQLite database should have table with nothing in it. Did I get the result backwards? Quite possibly. If result is not 0, how about we move this to something that doesn't require a double negative? If it's greater than 0. Still shouldn't find anything, but we should hit no cache now, right? And I'm not hoisting errors with this. What? Oh, I am hoisting errors. It's right there. This is going to explode, right? We're going to throw an error. Cool. No such table. Page output cache. Page output cache. Page output cache. Main panic builder 367. Page output cache. I feel like I'm doing something super silly right now. Tables. No. Oh, there is no table. There is only Zool. Why not? That doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm executing this, right? Statements, match, dbcon, execute. Close it. Oh my god, is that a... Wait, what? As ref. I'm super confused about what's happening here. Match, dbcon, close. Okay, so we can do it as ref. Expected. So we're getting a reference, we're doing a thing, executing. Match, db. Here. That shouldn't fire right now because the database already exists, unless I delete it really quickly. What the hell, man? Where's that sequel? Oh. Rip. Okay. Here's what's happening. I'm looking for the file. And if it doesn't exist, I create the database and then do this stuff. The problem is when I move this line up here, it's creating the database, which creates the file. So this never runs. I am just going to remove that. We're just going to, oh, it is not auto formatting. That is just not cool. Do not like that, Sam. I am. No cache, no cache. Found cache, found cache. Checking basic cache. That was an adventure. I can just run this every time because it's going to make the connection to the database. If the file doesn't exist, it creates it, and then it runs this statement trying to create the table. But that's only does it if it doesn't exist. So we're good. We can take this out. That should be showing up now, right? Yeah, so there's all that. And then found cache. So we're here. So then what we want to do. So what should happen. Is that going to disappear? No. Okay, because it's not going to output anything. Why is that file still there? Content. Index. So this is the outputs. How is that file still there? Because it should not have any content in it. But that's the wrong thing. Docs. Index. Still 30K. So it still has content in it. Found cache. So when we hit found cache, delete that file for a second. See if it shows back up. It does not. Okay, so it's not actually outputting. I thought I was clearing those directories, but clearly I am not. It's fine. What we should be able to do now is this. Let's actually make sure that that's a note that we have. Builder, bin, Neopoligen. I do want to put that back in at some point because that should be clearing. Load source images. Where do I have empty output folders? That's what's throwing me. Yeah, cool. Okay. Throw me. Put empty output folders back in. Save. Cool. Now, here, so we have the cache. We found the data. So that's an iterator. Is first a thing? Nth. 1. No, just 0. I'm not sure what that's going to do. Cannot get value of mapped. So that's an iterator. Nth. 1. Cannot borrow. Okay. Reference it. Mutable. How about now? Nope. Borrow with move value. Oh, come on. This is where it just doesn't click for me sometimes. Rows it or count. So if I make this, oh, count consumes it. I remember that. Expected U size found integer. Consider dereferencing the borrow. What's that going to do? This does not seem like the right way to do this. Yeah, I would expect that to get you back in the same place without any problem. Multiple rows iter. So this doesn't work. Mutable. Because, like, so I'm doing... I kind of understand what's happening, I think. Has type map rows, which doesn't have a copy trait. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. Because we did mapped rows should just count, but it says consumes the iterator, which is not what we want. Nth returns nth element of the iterator, step by chain. So what we can do, skip all, skip scan, flat map, inspect by ref, collect, try collect. These are all the standards. We can't remember if there's a thing in there, but whatever. We're gonna not try and not even worry about it. So if we do this, if I right here go match rows iter nth 1, and we get some row. Come on. Print line. Got it. None. Let's do this. Come on, analyzer. Did not get it. This is super gross in like 6 different ways, but it's fine. And then what we want to do, I'm just going to do if true here, because we don't have anything that I can compare against when the way that I'm doing this. Rows that are SQL. This still needs to be mutable, huh? That seems weird. Okay, it's working. So we should see either got it or did not get it, right? And it's not, and then all the rest of the stuff, and then found cache also should show up. So because we just threw that in as true. Match rows that are nth. So right before then, we should see got it or that didn't show up. Load images. Where's found cache? Oh, there it is. Oh, did not get it. Did not get it. Sorry, I got thrown by that one up there. What is this? SQL statement here. I'm not even going to worry about this right now. We're just going to return unit. Okay. So did not get it, which should mean the database does not have a cache in it right now, right? Please. Browse data, nothing. Isn't 0 allowed? I thought, oh, got it. Okay. I thought nth was 1 index, but apparently it's 0 indexed, right? Because we hit, okay, cool. We hit it. Now, row. This is definitely one of those things where like, this is the first time I've kind of gone down into this stuff before. So I'm definitely flailing a lot, but it's kind of cool. And like first time you flail, welcome through it. Welcome to it. Through it, to it, whatever. So there's our row. Okay. And there's nothing in it. That seems odd. Row get. Map response. Item unwrap. For item and response, print get data, query map alpha row. So inside row here, we need to prepare SQL. I'm not actually executing it. Wait, what's happening? SQL query map. Okay. I'm not. I'm not returning anything. Okay. Cool. So we found something. We're just not actually returning anything yet. So we need to do okay. And then in okay, we need to return stuff like a tuple. Are you SQLite? Let's insert, whatever. This is fine. Seems weird though. Query rows. Where's query map? Somewhere in here we got query map. Mapped results. Show me just a straight example again. Row get. Yeah. So we have to actually return the stuff that we want to use. Okay. Okay. I understand what's happening. Row get usize string. I don't know why it's that, but whatever. Okay. So this we're going to return a tuple. And I'm just going to do A. I just don't care right now. A, B. I just need to see something come back. Right? It's not formatting. Okay. Row's the thing. Cool. Row. Fine. Sweet. And I should see A's and B's happening there. Cool. A, B. Another A, B. Sweet. So now I just need to populate that. Okay. Cool. This is cool. So if we do row get 1. What do we see there? Consider specifying type. Usize T. Okay. Yeah, it's weird that these... Oh, you don't have to specify a type here because the type is up here and it knows what's happening. Got it. I understand. So we're going to do usize string. These are all going to be usize strings. But let's see if this goes. And this needs to have a comma after it. I got a good feeling about this. Hey, there's our hash. And it's coming in as a that. That's fine. If we hit it, though, all that stuff should exist. So I should be able to do this. Unwrap. And then let's do this. Take that out. Take that out. And this becomes 2. And this becomes 3. That becomes 4. This becomes 3. And by 3, I mean 3. Let's see if that just doesn't show us our values there, because that would be awesome. Because then we can populate the data and have the data show back up. Rip did not. Oh, it's probably 0, 1, and 2. Or it's probably 0 indexed. 0, 1, 2, 3. I've also been working in Lua recently, which is 1 indexed, and so my brain is definitely like split across the indexes. There's a bunch of data. Okay, so content doc shouldn't have anything right now because we're not sending any data yet. As soon as we populate this, that should change. Okay, so how do we need to roll this? That if true and the else goes away. And that's going to be replaced by this from the match. Please format. The learner might not be closed properly. This is what I was talking about the limbers. Save. Undo. Unclose delimiter as it matches in a different indentation. Do I need another one down here? I would have thought it went the other way, but apparently it goes this way. So cool. Whatever, it's fine. Especially if it works. Okay, do we see output? No, we don't. I haven't used it yet. Okay, that's cool. I have to figure out why it's not formatting, because it is problematic for it to not be doing that right now. Generate outputs, debug, etc., etc. And it's something in this function, right, is what was happening. We've got all this data now. Rows iter, mute, rows iter, query map, rows iter inth. We're outputting that. So what we can do, come on, analyzer, get out of my way, is we can do page ID. No, we already have the ID. We already have the cache hash. output equals row dot or row 0 1 0 1 2, and output for RSS is 3, right? Because those are the indexes. Rip. Cannot insert value of type result. String. Page. Row. Oh, it's a tuple. So it's got to be .2. Right? Please work. Nope. Expected options. Okay, cool. There is all kinds of problems with this code. Move occurs. Oh, you're. No, it's got to be a clone. Does the clone go there? No, it goes in the front of the row. Okay. Clone it. Don't care. There's ways to do this with references and all kinds of cool stuff. But I can't get my head around that right now. Oh. Row. Unwrap. Clone. Unwrap. Clone. Why move occurs? Row has type, which does not implement the copy trait. That's fine. Row moved to this method call. Consider calling asref. There we go. Like, I don't know why I couldn't put the and in front or the ampersand in front of that. But asref works. Like, I still like. I understand. Like, I get it. I understand that we got to get to a reference of the thing. Here's a real question: did the page show up? Page showed up. Awesome. All right, YOLO. Let's see what happens. So, outputting pages, outputting basic pages from cache. So that's towards a site directory. So if I do this again, let's stop it just in case it decides to fire off for a second. Save. All right. So Firefox, bring that up. I'm going to pull this back over, maybe, just so we can see what's happening here. And so if I run this, what should happen is in cache here, I'm going to delete this database. It should create the database, and then we should populate the database the first time through with all the data. So this should still take about 10 seconds. Generating the ASTs, that could be a little faster. No cache across all those files, right? So it's generating all the files. That did seem to go faster than I was expecting it to, for all those no caches. 440. All right, cool. Page on a none value. How could we have gotten to a none value? match. Okay. Output. Page output for RSS. Oh, okay. I want to do this here. Still not. Wait, what? Oh, it's a, oh, undo. That actually was right. Page output. So we already have output for RSS. If we put that there, what happens? Because we should have page output and we should have output for RSS right there. Outputting. Reloading browser. Homepage. Sweet. Now if we run it again, it should go way faster. Generating ASTs still takes a minute. Outputting empty durs. Boom. I don't understand what these no caches were. Those are probably things that couldn't make an output, which is actually kind of interesting. Those are pages that are broken some other way, but like, fine. But what should happen is I should see the full site again. So if I go to docs, actually I can go to GitHub. I don't remember the last time I committed the thing was. Yeah. Oh no. Deleted all the images. Oh, I deleted all the images. Oh, I deleted all the images. That's why that other thing was off. That's why this was off. Rip images. Bring images back. Where did images go? Oh, they're over here. Yo. All right, so this will bring the images back. And what we should see here in a minute, that went super fast. I'm really happy with how fast that went. Of course, it's possible that it went super fast because the images didn't get made. Already exists. That doesn't seem accurate. Oh, those are all the old JPEGs. Those did go. Whoops. Okay. Yeah. I'm not doing JPEGs anymore. Okay, cool. This is actually looking good. Let's go look at a couple files. So RSS needs a timeline. Yay, cool. And there's an image. Sweet. RSS needs CSS. Cool. Stuff is working. This is on localhost. Tribute to Jack Torrance. That's a different site, but whatever, the link works. Animated VFs. Cool. Vision for the web. Sweet. Everything looks to be there. I think we're in good shape. I made a bunch of changes to a bunch of pages, so those all make sense. Like, move the cursor to an end of an EFM file. I don't know why that got added right now. I would have thought I made updates since those. But whatever, it thinks it's a new file. Read from an EFM buffer. Content from Grimoire. Read from an EFM buffer. Yeah. 420 was yesterday. Maybe I didn't commit since then. Okay, cool. Whatever. It's fine. Updates. I'm just going to delete all those images. So that's fine. I'm not going to push anything yet. But what should happen is with this reload browser now, if I open a new page, site, homepage, and I go here and I save it, it should go really fast. Or it's going to break because I broke the binder. Is this busted? No. Is this busted? No. I don't understand why that didn't roll. Generating STs, no cache, reloading browser. There's here. Save, there it goes. Okay, I was just confused. Generating STs. Save. Reloading browser. Generating STs. That's way better. It's way better. I don't remember what the time was. It was like 10 seconds or whatever. This is what? So save, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3-ish 1,000. I could still clear those ASTs. That would be the next thing to do. Whoops. Because if we got those ASTs in there as well, it would just zip right through. And like I could serialize those, throw them in the database as well. And then if the file hasn't changed, you just grab the AST. Well, actually, if the file hasn't changed, you don't even need to process for the AST. Like you can stop that a level up. Which would mean you didn't even need to cache the AST because you'd already have the file. Interesting. Actually, can we do that? No, because the generate ASTs. Wait, yeah, where do we do that? Maybe I'll do that right now. May not, but it's worth a shot. Because that'd be even faster, right? Because that's now all the time or whatever. But like the slowest part is generate ASTs. Generate ASTs, and then all the rest of the stuff just goes. Close that, close that, close that. Where's generate ASTs? So we've ingested the files. It's generate outputs. I think I want to try this. We need to do this in a slightly different place, right? Oh, wow. I got to figure out why it's not formatting. This shouldn't be happening. Right? If I do this and hit save, it should all fix itself. It did not. So that's in generate outputs. If we look at this same thing with generate ASTs, let me go back to our dev site real quick. I mean, if I'm in here optimizing, I might as well see if I can let's speed them all the way up, right? There we go. Okay, so that went quick. Cool. And that's going to get really fast. Actually, that's not going to go much faster because like it already, whatever. After it compiles, that's how fast I would like to see. Like that'd be cool if like all 2,000 pages built that fast. I don't think we're going to get it quite that fast because it actually has to like write files or whatever or move them. But we might be able to fix this a little bit even faster. So generate ASTs. There's generate output. dbcon. I can take that away. Take that away. You get a format now? Nope. See, this is a problem. There's like an off by 1 in the formatting. And I don't know why that is. It may just be that the file's too big now or whatever. Who knows? But something is definitely freaked it out. db no cache should not show up at all. Okay, cool. I'm going to get rid of that line. Yeah, see, all this stuff should be tabbed over 1. Which I think should be that. But see, that's wrong. And that's wrong. Whatever. Okay, close enough. I'll just call this cleanup. That's the wrong file. Cleanup. And then, okay, so let's go look now at generate ASTs. GENERA-ASTs. Much less complicated. Journey ASTs. So if there's something in the cache, I actually don't care about the AST. Sorry, if we have a valid hot cache or whatever, like if the cache matches, I don't think I care about the AST. I think I can just skip this step. Which is all this stuff. Actually, I can just do AST. Is that gonna give me there? Right. So SQL statement, we're gonna do all the same stuff. And we're gonna look for SQL prepare unwrap. There's a SQL statement. Here we're gonna query ID clone hash to see if that explodes yet. Remove that mutable. It's fine. Ooh, definitely exploded. Oh, we can't do this yet because you have to get the ID from the AST. Can't do it. Okay. Noted. The ID is inside the file. You get the ID by generating the AST, looking at the AST, and then pulling the ID out. So that we can't actually skip that step. I mean, we could like go look for the ID in like a different way or whatever. If we find it, do whatever, but like that'll be fine. Okay, cool. That is fine then. I'm totally cool with that. Yeah. So I think that'll probably wrap it for today. I think that was a good one. Y'all have a good one. Till next time. We'll do it again soon. Cheers.